Hello and welcome to Spoken Voices.
What was that?
Spoken Voices. Almost lost my voice there for a minute. The Spoken Voices. We're glad to have you here today on this Sunday, September 11th. And it would be remiss for us, because as New Yorkers, to look and say, let us all look back on 9/11, say a little prayer and whatnot, because as New Yorkers, I think that whole thing affected us a little bit more than it affected a lot of other people. But anyway, we want to thank everybody for being here. Today, we have two guests that I am so happy took the time out of their Sunday to be here. And that's Mr. Daniel Rivera and
Mr. Ruben Dee.
Yeah, Rubie Dee. Right? Now, just to give you guys a little bit of the audience a little bit of understanding on who these people are and why they're here, we're talking about the beginning of hip hop and a little bit of controversy about what's been going on in the discussion about the beginning of it. Who was there? Who started it? You know, who was the pioneers behind it? And it was started by Fat Joe. Fat Joe made a comment, and you know, a lot of people are jumping on him for making that comment. But we're going to get into it deep now because, well, again, we have some dudes that started back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Guys, the thing I wanted to talk to you about is that there's a little bit of controversy going on now about was Puerto Rican in particular, as opposed to just Latinos, right? In the beginning of hip hop, were they working side by side with the Black Americans that in the Bronx and started this music that has transcended a long time now? So guys, let me know what's going on.
Well, like I said, the controversy is coming with I guess when they said when the word 50% came out, that is not. I cannot say that's true. I cannot, because in the beginning it was nothing. This is the African American. They invented it. They invented hip hop. You know, it wasn't called hip hop back, but they invented it. Along the way, 3 years later, 2.5, 3 years later, that's when I came in the scene with the L Brothers. Other than myself, okay, wait a minute. There were probably other Latinos out there, but they never said anything. They never said, I'm Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Ecuadorian. They didn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's like the parties back then. If you weren't on a flyer back then, you could tell me that you were down. Oh, I was there from the beginning. Well, how come I never saw you on the flyer? You know, there's flyers. There's flyers. One of our members that passed away, Dr. Rock, rest in peace to my brother, he used to keep flyers. He did. I don't know what color the walls on his bedroom were because there was flyers all the way around. So I really don't know and I've been there. I was there more than 300 times. You know, it didn't. But at the very beginning, sir, I can't say no. I cannot say there was nobody. I joined. I got in a short time later. Prince Whip came in. I don't know if you. Prince Whip was down with me in my group, the Fantastic Five, in our group, our group, the Fantastic Five, and he's also Puerto Rican. He's half Puerto Rican, but he's also Puerto Rican.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
And then he went through. There was a time where nobody knew he was Puerto Rican. He really didn't. say it. You know, he didn't say, hey, soy Latino, I'm Puerto Rican. However, he just, for whatever reason, I don't know. But as soon as he joined the Fantastic Five, I found out he was a Puerto Rican. And we stressed that we were Puerto Ricans, you know.
Right.
So we call it MC Rubie Dee, first Puerto Rican. Prince Whip, Bronx, Puerto Rican. Mr. Schick was the damn man. I mean, that's the man. He put that thing down on wax. I said a rhyme or two in Spanish before. So has Whip. But only Mr. Schick, I can say the opportunity or the courage, however you want to. He went out there and put it on wax. And
with the meme machine.
Whip. Yeah, with the meme machine.
Yeah.
And I don't care what other people are going to say things. I was there and I heard mumbling among groups and even my own group. You know, they were accepted because they were, I mean, I thought they were awesome. So there was no issue with me. But other people, you know, same thing with the children. Oh, they are studio MCs or whatever they wanted to call it. I used to call it equal some bad mamma jammas is what I call it. So, you know, regardless, you know, and believe it or not, me and Schick never met. We've never shook hands.
Oh no? Okay.
No.
Only on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've never shook hands. When I see him, I'm gonna give him a big old hug though.
Good.
You know,
yeah.
with coronavirus. I'm gonna hug him. And then now this, you know, because I do social media, but I don't.
Yeah.
And so other people have told me, hey, look at this. And they'll forward me stuff. And I don't open a lot of stuff. I just, you know, I don't want the drama most of the time.
Yeah, I can dig it.
I don't want to step on nobody's toes accidentally or, you know. But if you ask me, all I can speak is the truth, what I know. I don't know what happened in Harlem. I know that in the Bronx when hip hop was born, you know, I was around. I saw it, but I wasn't down. You know, I always say there's a difference between, you know, how people say I was there from day one. Well, Rubie Dee was not there from day one. I was there from the beginning, but not day one. You know, and I have a friend that he says the same, the way he says they put there were probably others out there that I don't know. You know, I was the first one to make the cut.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, I was the first one to make the cut. Whip, Mr. Schick, that's a whole new, he took it to the next level, you know. I started with, came in, then Schick came in, and like I said, the only regret right now is that I never met Mr. Schick in person. I've never shook his hand.
Well, I'm glad we could get you guys together. Y'all at least see one another.
Well, we've spoken on the phone, you know, we've talked like this on video, but in person, no. But I have seen their shows when I was living in the Bronx, you know.
So what was your experience like though?
My experience, well, before I get into my experience, I just want to share this that I saw online, and it was shared by Dynamite Roosevelt. He's part with the Furious Five, you know, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Yep.
So he shared this long thing with a lot of explanations, and I thought what I caught was this: that you know, creation and pioneering being two different things. You know, the creator invented it. Now the pioneers are so Latinos like Rubie Dee pioneered. He didn't create, but he helped pioneer this thing called what we call today hip hop, you know, and Prince, Whip a Whip, another Latino, helped pioneer, right? So I came in 79 and I just helped pioneer the Spanish incorporation into hip hop.
Right.
You know, because originally I wasn't an MC. That I wasn't. It wasn't even in my thought. You know, I was a graffiti writer in New York from 1971. Yeah, from 1971. And then even while I was a rapper in 81, I was still doing graffiti until we started touring, you know, out of the Bronx and out of the city.
Right.
And then I had to stop because, you know, we were touring.
Right.
But, you know, as far as like me in the streets, I seen the Puerto Ricans, the blacks together, you know, whenever we were doing graffiti, I could hear the music because you're doing it in what they call train layups, where they park the trains in the express track. Yeah. And you might be right there where Disco Fever is, you know, around T Connection, and you hear the music. In fact, one of the stories that Cool Cal used to tell me was like, you know, because he was also a graffiti writer and he was also an MC. That he used to go paint trains too, and then from there go straight into T Connection because, you know, the layups weren't far from there.
Right.
And you know, that's what we used to do. But yeah, I for me to be an MC, it was accidental.
Right.
You know.
My question to you guys is this too. Do you think that we get too hung up on verbiage, like pioneer, started, there from the beginning, or whatever? You see, because there's a thing that I'm beginning to realize, right? If you're not from New York, right? If you're from another part of the country and you like hip hop, especially the younger people now, right? You're not from the city, right? It's a totally different, I was talking to my wife about that. It's a totally different dynamic. I grew up partially on Trinity Avenue, right? Okay. Right? All I knew, and I keep telling people this, all I knew was blacks, Puerto Rican. That's who I grew up, right?
That's all that was around there.
Yeah, and nobody really, there was no really controversy about, oh, I'm black, I'm Puerto Rican. We just lived together.
Exactly.
We worked together. Exactly. We married one another. We had kids together. I think there's a problem now because hip hop has turned into rap and it's become such a global thing that you got people like in Texas and LA and Michigan and stuff like that. They don't know the New York experience. They tend to separate, right? And growing up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? We didn't separate as we do now. We didn't wave our flags about where we were from, right? We just lived together, you know, and at the end of the day, we were La Familia no matter who you were. Your friends were black, your friends were black. You used to go over and eat at their house, right? Their mothers knew you. Their fathers knew you.
And your neighbors used to take care of you.
There you go. You see? But now there seems to be this sense of pride that is a forced sense of pride because at the end of the day, I always tell people this, and I want you guys to respond to this, right? Those slave ships was throwing people off in the Caribbean before they hit here.
Well, let me tell you this, that a lot of Latinos don't realize that we have slave names too. Our names, you know, because the Spaniards were the ones that came, you know, and so we're carrying Spaniards' names, which is our oppressors' names.
That's right. That's right. And it's hard to get young people to understand that, and it's so easy to Google.
You know, there's a picture that says our heritage, and in the middle they have a Taino Indian. That's what in Puerto Rico. I'm gonna go. Then the Spaniards came, Christopher Columbus to be exact.
Right.
He came and he brought black slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And our heritage in this picture is a Taino Indian, an African slave, and the Spaniard, his conquistador looking thing. And those three things, the story about Christopher Columbus got to this island and he thought he called it a rich port.
Right.
And it's Puerto Rico, And it's the name Puerto Rico, from rich port.
Yep.
And I was talking about a lot of Latinos, and I'm going to say Latinos, I'm not going to say one in particular. They don't identify, oh no, yo soy salvadoreño, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, I'm not black. And I'm like, okay, I'm purebred Puerto Rican. Really, what does that mean?
That's not even a nationality.
Exactly.
But you see what we're doing too. Have you seen what we do as Black Americans? We are constantly trying to find what to call ourselves. Now it's descendants of slaves and stuff like that. Oh, stop that nonsense. Stop. Just be who you are. And that bothers me so much. We keep trying to find an identity when we have one already. And our identity is the same as those from the Caribbean. We just happen to be dropped off at a different place. I'm going off though. I know you have questions.
No, this is your interview.
No, but I know you have questions.
I hired you to interview these beautiful, awesome icons. No, really, seriously. When I was growing up in El Barrio, all I remember was sneaking out from the projects, hearing the music from Mean Machine, and all I remember was they used to have these radios, these huge speakers.
92 KTU.
They used to have the block parties. Yo me tiraba. I would escape from my house late at night. Well, anyway, one day I got caught. I got beaten up. They said, ¿Dónde tú estabas, niña? I'm like, in the That music would draw me to just like, oh my God, I gotta check out this jam. But I was 14 at the time. Yeah.
And it's funny that, she lived, and I found this out about a year ago, right? She lived in the projects, and around the corner, Harlem Hospital is where I was born. Yeah. Right?
Oh, wow.
In Lexington Avenue.
Yeah, which proves my point. And I'm 5 years older than my baby, but she lived in the same neighborhood. We lived in the same neighborhood. We grew up around the same people.
You know what's funny? That growing up, my parents, I didn't grow up, learning about hip hop. I had to learn that when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something that it was so interesting back then. And then I don't know what happened after the 80s. It just kind of
changed the rap.
It just stopped.
They started doing a different variation.
But I'm talking about los otros Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
Our people. Mm-hmm. What happened. And we need to adjust that now. We need to. We need to come out, and there's so many talented people out here. And this is why I created this show, because I want to expose our people. Look, we can sing, we can dance, we can act, we can be directors, producers, and we have our own, we have our icons that we need to bring back to teach our children. Hey, this is how it first started, but it's not truly, it's just not out there. It's just not, and we need to, we need to bring that back and just talk about it.
Well, you're hearing it now from Rubie Dee, the first Puerto Rican to hold the mic in a hip hop thing.
Yeah, I'm so happy guys up.
And and a lot of people, when they refer to hip hop, I know they're talking about the music aspect, but when you refer to hip hop, really you're talking about graffiti, breakdancing too, not just DJing and MCing. Yep. So when you say, hey, you don't belong here, I always say hip hop, you might as well just consider it a house, and the elements are rooms. You have the room of graffiti, the room of DJing, the room of breakdancing, and what's the other one?
The MC and DJing.
Yeah, and so you know what? Which was the first room that was open if hip hop was a house?
Right.
I would say
graffiti, the writers.
That
right. Was, I was doing that since 71.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but then as far when people talk about hip hop, I know they mean 73, the music part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember graffiti when I was a kid. When I was 10 years old I remember the train, they were tagged.
Oh,
I don't remember the names that were, but I remember they were all tagged. When I was 9 years old, it was 1969. Okay, so it was out there way back then.
And you know what? Those artists like Daniel and stuff, you guys were really talented. We looked at it as urban blight. Well, not we. The other people looked at it as urban blight. We saw the artistry in it, right? We saw that the people doing these things could be great artists if they got a chance or if they knew what avenues to go down to be an artist, to present their work, to be able to put that stuff on canvas. If they were able, most of those dudes, if they were able to put it on canvas, they would probably be multimillionaires now.
Well, I'll tell you this. They're doing it now. They've been doing it. And they're getting good money. They're traveling Europe. They're traveling all over, doing canvases and doing shows. I see them because I'm still connected to a lot of these guys of my youth when we were painting trains. And, we're connected on Instagram. And I see the galleries that their paintings are in, their showings and all this. They're making good money. They're making top dollar now. It's a big thing, especially in Europe.
Do you still do it?
No, I've gotten contacted for commission work and stuff like that, but I haven't done it. I tell them I haven't done it, in over 40 years. Not that I still can't do it, but you're a little rusty. So, I would probably take a few days of practice, just to get back into the swing of things.
Right.
And because when your hand is used to flowing one way, it becomes natural. But now I'm a little rusty. I can still do it, but it ain't going to look like these guys now because they have years more of practice.
Right. What was you going to say?
I was going to say something smart.
What was you going to say?
Go ahead, say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Say it.
I know you better not be painting no trains right now.
No.
Tell them there's no subways in South Carolina.
No, there's only freight trains. And believe me, I'm driving and I'm looking and I watch the names and I wonder, would I be able to get away with it today if I was? Because I'd hate to get caught. Senior citizen gets caught painting a train.
Not our way.
Yeah.
¿Cómo decir?
Placer, un placer.
No placer, pero algo maravilloso para hablar con ustedes.
Okay.
Oh my God, es algo muy, muy importante que nosotros, que nosotros hablamos de la historia de nuestra raza, donde nosotros nacimos y también la música, cómo empezó, porque yo creo que los puertorriqueños tenemos que seguir para adelante y triunfar, y ayudar a nuestros amigos y familia, pero, gracias por todo. So in English, thank you.
Yo, man, I really appreciate you guys, man. And it's so good to meet you. I would love to one day to meet you guys in person. I want to do this. I want to do this again. I want to, even with more people, because it's important to me. Because it's simply a simple thing. My niece and nephew, they're Latino, they're Puerto Rican and Black. They need to know who we are.
Yeah, we also have rap singers.
As a people.
We have our adults, they're rap singers.
Yeah, my son, my oldest son, and my youngest. And the youngest son.
And they don't know who you guys are.
He said something very important to me. My youngest said something very important to me. He said, I want to win an award. I want me and Nate, his older brother, to win an award one day and walk on stage with our whole family. Just to show people who we are as a family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to just thank you guys for having us on, and I'll leave you guys with this. You know, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Yeah, be kind. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I don't know why some Latinos, we hate each other. I don't get it.
It's not only Latinos, it's Blacks too. It's everybody.
I'm talking Latino también.
I'm talking Latino.
All right. I'm going to end the show. And guys, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank everybody for watching.
Thank
you. Voices.
So you normally say man makes plans?
Oh, yeah. I always forget that.
Let's start that again.
Man makes plans, God smiles. Thank you, guys. Thank everyone for watching. See you later.
Yeah.
Let me see your body work. Well, to the funky beat, to the funky song, to the beat that makes your booty bounce. So Mr. Nice, freak dance, rock, shock in the house. Show the body people what you're all about. Ooh, yeah. My God, Rubie Dee, Rubie Dee, my brother, my man. Now just get on the mic and take the man. Well, Rubie Dee is my name, and I'm a Puerto Rican. You might think I'm black by the way I wear, and I'm straight, I'm happy with a lot. That's the reason I attract all the street fly girl. The other reason is style and profile. The ladies so the lady know I'm worth the fight. Cause I'm too hot. You go to home, Rubie Dee's in the place, and you must play. So I'm bad, super bad, always bad, I'm the man. Keep on and rock the house, come on, let me turn it out. I mess around, gotta keep it making microphone change. Walking around, pulling your style. And all the ladies know you out, you gotta sing it. Get to the west, cause when you rock with us, you don't raise a fuss, cause you're rocking with the best. Cause we're understanding, not demanding. To be a mean machine, you got to be outstanding. Dealing with these circumstances, we know how to get on down. Go get to the rhythm, rock, see the beat. Well, if you didn't pay attention, then I really hypertension. It's a body situation, it's a moving combination, it's a death manipulation, so we give it demonstration. Julio, the intelligent rapper, laying it down as if truly a master.